Good morning. Welcome to Stand Up. My name is Lisa Eckier. I'm the culinary director here at the Commissary Kitchen. Let's grab our hairnet and go on in.
Good morning and welcome to Stand Up. Today we are talking about our biblical framework passage for the month, 1 Peter 4. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. So that seems like a pretty important verse for us. What makes it foundational to Presbyterian homes?
To serve others.
First of all, it makes service the number one job. We are here to serve others. Absolutely. What else? Take care of people. Absolutely. There's a goal in it. We want to actually get something done. Very good. Another reason it's important is it talks about all the various gifts that we bring. And we know we have a lot of gifts that have to be there if this is going to get done, right? Does everybody in this room do the same job? Do you have a bunch of people doing different jobs that all work together to make the food? Boom. Different gifts. And there are a lot of biblical metaphors about that, right? The most famous is probably 1 Corinthians 12. There are many parts of the body, but if the whole body were made up of eyes, would that be a decent body? No, it could see really well, but do nothing else, right? And yet if nobody is an eye, what's wrong with the body? It can't see. Absolutely right. There are other metaphors. Matthew talks about the same field, a lot of workers sent at different times to different places. John 15 says that we are many branches connected to the same vine. Very good. And of course, one of the big metaphors is Ephesians 4, which we will talk about in October because it's another of our biblical framework passages. But all these metaphors, why 1 Peter? 1 Peter is a unique book in that it's written to a very different group of people. It's not a bunch of Judeans who all decided that Jesus was the Christ. It's not the same class or the same ethnic group or the same people. It is written to groups that are coming together because they love Jesus, but they have very little in common. They are not a guild of workers. They have different jobs. They are not a family. They have different traditions. They're not the same culture. They have different languages. And somehow, Peter is writing to these people saying, how can you be a church despite having so little in common? And he asks, what does it mean for us to be a church? He comes up with a couple famous metaphors. First of all, he says that we are a new nation. We come from many nations, but we are now one. He says that we are a temple. We are living stones, each separate, but together in a temple for God. And he says that we are a new holy priesthood, coming from whatever religious background we had, but now with direct access to God through Jesus Christ. The whole point of it is that people with different gifts come together and do one holy task together. So, what does that mean for us here?
We all come together to do our work that
First of all, very directly, we all come together with different gifts in this room right here. Absolutely. Anything else? Support each other. Very good, because if someone else is failing at their job, it's not like you can go on without them. You need them to do their best as well. In fact, if we were to read one verse longer in 1 Peter 4, it would say, those who speak must speak as if they had the very words of God. And I'm not a shy preacher, but let me tell you, if you said, Chris, are those the very words of God? I would get quiet and leave. And then one sentence later it says, and if you serve, you must serve as if you were the very strength of God. You're servants. You're the hands of God. Are you God's strength every day? That's what Peter is calling us to do. Absolutely. Finally, and something I wouldn't expect you to know, is the fact that that word various, poikiles, is actually many-colored. It's translated various, but it's a word used to describe clothing. And it means a colorful garment with a lot of colors that go together. What does it mean when Peter is writing to a group full of all different ethnicities and he calls God's grace many-colored? Is there a more direct metaphor we could use for people of all different races and cultures coming together to one purpose? The end result of all of it, well, let's again quote 1 Peter, because the most popular lines in all of my Bible studies are not from me, they're from the Bible. So that in all things God may be praised through Jesus Christ. To him be the glory and the power forever and ever. Amen. Amen? Amen. Thank you very much.